Hi everyone! Today we'll get deep into what truly is capitalism and what system the entire world lives in. And I could create an authentic illustration to represent this. The most important debate at least 200 years ago until nowadays is about socialism and capitalism. And we have in the last decades critics of capitalism on how it's evil, how people suffer from it, and so on. But if I say that no country in the world lives in capitalism, more yet, no country in the world lives in socialism, would you believe it? Let me explain to you. The entire world lives in only a unique system, and that is interventionism. And it's not a middle term between socialism and capitalism. It's not a thing more socialist or more capitalist. It's a third system. But isn't static. It has a broad range of characteristics to move in. It can be more regulated, closer to socialism, or it can be less regulated, more decentralized, closer to capitalism. Capitalism and socialism are two extreme views of the world. One is more regulated, and all the power of a nation is centralized by only one group, the state, and the other is totally decentralized, all the power divided by each individual. Well, and how does interventionism work? It's a fragmented system by topics, moved by the public opinion of each country, controlled by the state. Some countries understand that transportation has to be controlled only by the state, by state companies, while others think that transportation has to be managed in a free market by private companies, with the competition. Each country has its particularities with different topics, and it can be with health, education, energy, water. You choose, my friend. Oh, okay, math, but what truly is capitalism? Well, my friends, let's walk on a path that anyone can understand in a simple way. The source of capitalism is a run for the gold. Simple like that. Although we try to romanticize the idea, we can only do it when we see the global context of the result. And what is this result? It's a specialized division of labor and the search for solving people's problems. It's a talk between cooperation and competition to reach a reward. Of course, this reward, this motivation, isn't just economic, but also can be social motivations, cultural, etc. This can only happen when we have free initiative, free choice, and free association. The people can join together to do whatever they want at any time they want, in exchange for whatever they want. All that intervene in this generated this incentive to happen in that way. Let's start thinking about the word capitalism. Capitalism was a word created by Karl Marx, a communist. On the other side, the same process was called free market by Adam Smith and John Locke, defenders of this process. And this process, the free market, is a natural aspect of human being. It's present in thousands and thousands of years of our history. A man, when catching only one fish, commonly with a spear, creates a net, and now instead of a single fish, he gets several fish, which results in fish left over for himself. With that, he seeks to exchange these fish with his friend, who hunted a wild boar, but discovers that your friend doesn't want fish, but cotton, and he permeates his territory in search of his other distant friend who harvests cotton. When he contacts him, he discovers that he also doesn't intend to exchange cotton for fish, but he asks for fruits. Yeah, I think you got the idea. It turns into chaos, and that's why there was the creation of a coin for our entire civilization, where the first coin was created in the Persian Empire approximately 700 before Christ. This new way of exchanging things through a coin, a metal, that contains a unit value, starts getting really well. A lot of people start providing services in exchange for money, and people begin specializing something. Till some dude centuries ago started associated in sectors, specializing in those sectors. I would say the West Indian Company was the beginning of it. This starts to work out really well on a multiplied level, and then we have the Industrial Revolution, and the big boom happens. This chart is so amazing to see. Here we have the world economic history. We passed 3,000 years in absolute poverty, earning $1, which is the poverty rate today, and suddenly it shuts up and everybody started earning an incredible amount of money to any human standard that exists in our history. It's like a miracle of our humanity. Capitalism provides us to be here with all of that connected. All of us that criticize capitalism, in a sense, we are being a paradox. It was kind of impossible for us to criticize it. Do you know why? Because without capitalism, we wouldn't be alive. We wouldn't exist. And I will prove it to you. There was 5,000 years ago, there were about 4 million people. 3,000 years ago, with a lot of effort, we reached a number of 100 million people. And then, in 800, the boom happens. And today, we have 8 billion people in our world. Again, it's like a miracle. It all got strength with the Industrial Revolution. We can see with another wise view of capitalism what Ludwig von Mises called the consumer's democracy, in which capitalism is the highest point that democracy could arrive. Because each day, hour, and minute, we are choosing our representatives of a certain good. Today, I give my vote to Dell instead of Apple, because I think it's not worth to pay a computer with this price and quality. If I'm right and represent a lot of people, if for every 10 people, one buys Apple and the rest buy Dell, this final bill needs to close in the end. If Apple continuously produces without hearing the consumer, even if Apple is on the first place in the market, it will arrive a time that Apple won't exist. In other words, it's a meritocratic system where even the most powerful people can lose their place if they don't attend to the consumer's demand. And this is the pattern of all sectors. Yeah, great math. I got the idea, but since this is not what happens in reality, well, you're right. Like I said, no one country lives 100% capitalism, its concept. What we have is interventionism, represented by the state, and the state has an annoying habit of getting in the way of the essence of this process. For example, taxing us, regulating different markets, and even administrating some sectors, creating monopolies without any competition, generating this breaking down of the free market and consequently consumer democracy. We can talk a lot about the state, but I think it's better for another future video. And we reach the most interesting part, the result of the illustration. It's an expression of our history, our civilization, and now the development that we have with the free market. It's a play of visual pieces with the literal representation of our world economic history and our population growth, inspired by the chart that you saw before. I always say art has an important purpose, and it's losing it. And we need to support work like this one that has a purpose behind it. And this work will be available for high quality print on my website. Check it out, guys! I'm dedicating to this new channel, so if you like it, follow for more content and leave that beautiful like for us. Thanks, guys!